protesters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
Cockpit earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PH Vote 2013.
Today on Rappler, President Aquino's satisfaction ratings dropped by 15 points. Filipinos believe the misuse of pork barrel continues under Aquino. And legislators failed to break the deadlock on the U.S. debt ceiling as the deadline looms.
Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The latest social weather station survey shows more Filipinos are dissatisfied with President Benigno Aquino. From 12% of Filipinos who reported they were dissatisfied with Aquino's performance in June, the number rises to 19% in September. Aquino's net satisfaction rating for the third quarter of 2013 is at 49%, down from 64% in June. On Monday, Malacanang blames recent reports on the massive misuse of government funds as the reason for the public's dissatisfaction.
We recognize that the increase in those dissatisfied reflects the depth of anger and disappointment of the people at the way public funds have been stolen.
Deputy Presidential Spokesperson Abigail Valtes says the multi-billion peso pork barrel scam happened during the past administration, but Commission on Audit reports show it went on under the Aquino regime. Those satisfied with the president's performance are at 68% in September, down from 76% in June. Valtes says the challenge to prosecute those who allegedly pocketed public funds is the Aquino administration's most significant fight yet. Alleged mastermind Janet Napoles faces plunder charges with 37 others, including 3 senators. The latest Pulse Asia survey shows the majority of Filipinos, 67%, believe the misuse of pork barrel continues under the Aquino administration. In the survey conducted between September 14 to 27, 9 of 10 Filipinos have heard, read, or watched reports about the pork barrel scam. Of the number, 45% believe the pork barrel should be removed. In August, following exposés about the systematic corruption of lawmakers' funds, President Aquino said it was time to abolish the pork barrel. The multi-billion peso pork barrel scam involved lawmakers' funds channeled to fake non-governmental organizations. In response to public clamor, the House of Representatives realigned the funds to various government agencies. Only 20% of the survey respondents agree lawmakers should still be allowed to have their pork barrel as long as there are stringent measures. An even lesser number, 10%, believe the pork barrel at its current status should be retained. The survey also shows 1 out of 3 Filipinos agree politicians use the funds to get elected, while 27% believe the fund provides lawmakers the opportunity to receive bribes and commissions. The Senate's much-awaited caucus on whether to allow the testimony of alleged pork barrel scam mastermind Janet Napoles is postponed to Wednesday. It was initially scheduled for Monday. The office of Senate President Franklin Drilon issues a notice saying the postponement is, quote, due to the unavailability of some members on account of sickness or official mission abroad. The Senate is set to decide on whether or not to summon Napoles to the Blue Ribbon Committee investigation into the pork barrel scam. Senators clash on the subpoena, with Drilon against calling Napoles to the Senate, while Committee Chairman T.G. Gingona is in favor of the testimony. Drilon says the Ombudsman should be allowed to finish its fact-finding probe into the plunder complaint filed in relation to the scam. But Gingona says the Senate is not bound by the Ombudsman's advice. In a statement, Senator Miriam Santiago says she supports issuing a subpoena, saying, the Constitution gives this power to the Senate. It might upset the delicate system of checks and balances if the Senate itself dilutes this power by seeking an external agency such as the Ombudsman. Other senators also question whether Napoles' testimony will be helpful to the Senate probe, since she may just invoke her right to self-incrimination. Senator Bong Revilla backs calls for Napoles to face the Senate. He is one of 3 senators facing a plunder complaint over the controversy. In an interview with reporters, Revilla says he will vote for the issuance of subpoena to compel Napoles to appear in its probe.
It is high time na mas maganda pumunta si Jenny Napoles dito. Nang lumabas na yung katotohanan nang matapos na tong gulo na to. sino yung managot.
Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno asks the Justice Secretary and the Ombudsman to investigate a supposed big-time fixer in the judiciary and the lifestyle of the justices the person had been bribing. Sereno asks Justice Secretary Laila de Lima to help investigate a certain Ma'am Arlene, referred to in news reports as the Janet Napoles of the judiciary. De Lima says Sereno wants the National Bureau of Investigation to look into the activities of the woman who allegedly exerts influence on judges and justices on behalf of her litigant clients. De Lima also says the issue is linked to the recent elections of the Philippine Judges Association, or PJA. Sereno wants the Justice Department to look into reported irregularities during the PJA election and the alleged rivalry among the contenders. Judge Ralph Lee of the Regional Trial Court of Quezon City Branch 83 was elected president in the PJA elections. The influential Iglesia ni Cristo holds a medical mission for up to 1.6 million people, large enough to push local governments to cancel classes. The group insists there's nothing political about it. Katerina Francisco files this video blog.
Thousands of Filipinos gather here in Manila for the Iglesia ni Cristo's medical mission. It's part of the Iglesia ni Cristo's aim to help the poor and boost its membership. Its leaders deny speculations that this event is politically motivated.
Walang bahid politika ito. Kung na-obserbahan ninyo yung ginawa namin mula nung magsimula hanggang kanina, maging noong magtapos yung pag-aaral, o kung nakita ninyo yung mga tarpaulins, yung mga banner na nandun, walang political message talaga.
In fact, many of the people we met are non-members of the Iglesia ni Cristo.
Pinagsikapan ko po kapatid na makarating dito para po maano ako sa Panginoon Diyos.
Bakit? Yung mga pamigay o yung makikinig?
Makikinig po, hindi po lang yung pamigay. Sabi niya po kasi may parang pagpapahayag nga daw po na magaganap. Kaya sumama ko, parang na-curious lang kung ano yung ginagawa nila.
PCV came here not only to get medicines and relief goods, but to listen to the preaching of this 99-year-old church. Katerina Francisco, Rappler, Manila.
After holding a session for more than 18 hours, the government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, failed to agree on how power will be shared between the proposed Bangsamoro political entity and the national government. The 41st round of talks started October 12 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and ends 5 a.m. of October 13th. An MILF source says both panels reached a technical impasse with their failure to reach a consensus on details regarding the Bangsamoro's ministerial form of government. The negotiations are down to the final details of the peace pact. Also yet to be completed is the annex on normalization, which contains the sensitive issues of decommissioning of arms and disposition of armed forces. Typhoon Santi, international name Nari, leaves more than 2.9 billion pesos in damages to agriculture in two provinces alone. Two of the worst-hit provinces, Aurora and Nueva Ecija, report damage to crops, fisheries, and related industries. More than 740,000 people, or more than 154,000 families, are affected across regions 1, 2, 3, and 4A. A major cleanup operation is underway in Luzon after the typhoon swept through the region Saturday, leaving 13 dead. On Monday, State Weather Bureau Pagasa says the Philippines can expect cloudy skies with isolated rain showers as new Typhoon Tino, international name WIFA, passes through the Philippine area of responsibility. The United States faces a potentially devastating debt default after senators failed to agree on terms to reopen the federal government and raise the country's borrowing limit. If the U.S. debt ceiling is not raised by October 17th, the Treasury will run out of money and could begin defaulting on its obligations for the first time in history. On Saturday, Senate Democratic leaders turned down a compromise proposal by Republican Senator Susan Collins. It called for lifting the U.S. debt limit for up to a year, reopening the government, and repealing a tax on medical services under Obama's health care law. The Senate began weekend talks to break the impasse, with Democratic Senator Harry Reid and Republican leader Mitch McConnell leading the negotiations. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 5, some 2 million pilgrims pour out of the Muslim holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia to begin the annual Hajj. a fewer number because of the deadly MERS virus. Saudi's health minister says there are no detected cases yet among the pilgrims of the virus, which killed 60 people worldwide, 51 in Saudi Arabia. Riyadh imposed a 20% cut this year on the quota for pilgrims coming from abroad. At number 7, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank hold annual meetings this week in Washington. With all eyes fixed on the U.S. budget crisis, the meeting of finance leaders in the U.S. Capitol spares the IMF another debate on the damaging effects of the austerity it imposes in the Eurozone. For years, emerging economies say their small voting rights in the institution don't reflect their real power in the world economy. And at number 8, Facebook ends a feature that allowed users to hide from the network's billion-plus members. This means Facebook users can more easily find other people on the social network. Under scrutiny by privacy advocates, Facebook recently revamped its search functions to include graph search that allows users to search through a wide range of posts. The company says the changes won't have any impact on overall privacy. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Season 76 of the UAAP men's basketball tournament ends on a high note with the De La Salle Green Archers beating the UST Growling Tigers in overtime to win the championship. Bea Cupin reports.
LaSalle head coach Juno Soler finally has reason to smile. The Green Archers bagged the 2013 UAAP men's basketball crown, defeating the UST Growling Tigers 71-69 in a thrilling overtime game. Last year's Rookie of the Year Jeron Teng is Finals MVP and finishes with 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists.
He played unbelievable. He had the cramps somewhere in the second half, but he continued to fight and played extraordinary basketball.
Game 3 of the finals proves to be a fitting end to this year's UAAP men's basketball season. With 34 seconds left in overtime, the Tigers lead 69-67, thanks to back-to-back baskets from Kevin Ferrer and the graduating Jeric Teng. But momentum swings to LaSalle's side after UST's Aljon Mariano commits a costly turnover that later leads to a game-clinching basket by Alman Vosotros. Jeric Teng and center Kareem Abdul lead UST's attack. But several key players from UST collapse under the pressure of the do-or-die game. Ferrer, Mariano, and Clark Bautista combined for a measly 14 points. Despite LaSalle's victory, Soler is still all business.
And I can promise you and guarantee each and every one of you, we will be better next season. Thank you.
For now, the Green Archers savor its victory.
This is the Green Archers' first championship since 2007 and Coach Juno Soler's first crown as UAAP men's basketball head coach. Now fans wonder, is this beginner's luck or the start of a LaSalle dynasty? Bea Cupin, Rappler, Manila.
Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have affected our readers and our viewers the most. These 10 stories in a 24-hour period have gotten the most number of votes. If we take a look today, the story you saw in the newscast, Facebook ends invisibility cloak for users. You look at a 51% angry, 16% annoyed, and an interesting 5% afraid and amused. This one for today, INC, we didn't ask for class suspensions. Interestingly, 21% angry, 62% annoyed, but 12% happy. That green mood picking up the story that's gotten the most number of votes on the mood meter. Huge Iglesia event seen to draw 1.6 million. 62% happy. That green leading to the mood of the day. Today, most people are happy. Well, that is Rappler's Newscast for today, Monday, October 14th, 2013. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.